Ask y'all, just to get the morning started so I can get into the story and read it to you all. How many of you are excited about food? I see a lot of hands up. That's exciting. That's exciting. How many of y'all enjoy reading? Do you think you can read well? What are some of your favorite stories? I'm going to ask a couple of, I want hands, so I'm going to ask some questions, and I'm going to pick someone in the audience to give me an answer. So, what are one of your favorite stories? Okay. I'm going to ask you. I'll come down and ask you a question. What is one of your favorite stories? So what is one of your favorite stories?
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell? Hey, that's great. Let's get you to come up. What is your favorite story?
Power Rangers.
Hold on. I got another question. Because I was like Power Rangers too when I was coming up. So which is one of your favorite Power Rangers? What color?
Pink.
Why the pink?
Because it's good.
Okay, that's a good question. Come on. So what is one of your favorite stories?
Spider-Man.
Why Spider-Man?
Because I like it.
It's like how you spring the web and swing from place to place? But that's exciting. Alright, I'm going to get one more person to answer. So what is one of your favorite stories?
Little creatures.
And why Little Creatures?
Because I like it.
You like that book? Okay. So from some of the stories or some of the books that I've heard so far, I think y'all gonna enjoy the Adventures of Angus the Mouse. How many of y'all are ready to hear this story? Let me see the hands go up. How many of y'all are ready to hear the Adventures of Angus the Mouse? Okay. But before we start, I have to give y'all, you never heard of it, but you're gonna hear it today. It's a real good story. And I want y'all to enjoy this story and pay close attention to what Angus is going through, because it's not only about adventure, it teaches valuable lessons that every child, every parent should know and should teach their child. So throughout this story, you will get the feel of what Angus is going through, and I will ask y'all questions about Angus. And just hopefully that, that y'all understand and comprehend some of the things that Angus is going through. Being that it's Grandparents' Day, this book that I wrote was dedicated to my grandmother, so I'm going to read what I wrote in here, dedicated to her. With every heartbeat, I'm missing you each day. I wish you were here to see what I've accomplished. Deep inside, I know you're here in spirit, smiling down on me on each and every step I take. I love you forever and always, Grandma. Here's the storyline. Angus was different from his brothers and sisters. He had dreams of becoming an adventurer. He would love to go into town with his mother and shop, only because on their way there, he would go off into the woods, leaving his mother behind to discover new and exciting things the humans threw out in the woods. His mother would not mind because little Angus would always return to her safely. However, this one day, little Angus did not return. Throughout this story, Angus learns valuable lessons, so please pay close attention and enjoy. It was a sunny weekend, and every weekend Angus and his brothers would go out to play. This day was just like any other day. Angus would be the first to awake and go out to play, leaving his brothers and sisters behind. Angus had 3 sisters and 2 brothers who were much older than him. Angus was born in his mother's second litter and was the only one to survive. This drew Angus very close to his mother, but he had a hard time fitting in with the rest of his family. Angus' 3 sisters' names were Angel, Carrie, and Brandy. Angel was the stuck-up one, and also the meanest out of the girls. Carrie was the nice one who always did the right thing in everything she did. She treated Angus a lot better than the rest. Brandy was the one that looked up to Angel, so she did as Angel did. His brothers were Adam and Paul. Adam was into music and loved all types of musical instruments. Paul, on the other hand, loved sports. Football was his favorite. Whenever they played, they would never play with Angus, and today he wanted to know why. Angus got tired of playing alone. "Hey guys, can I play?" Angus asked his brothers. "No, little Angus," Adam said, laughing. "Why not?" "Because you're too young. Go play with the girls." Angus felt sad inside because they didn't want to play with him. So he went to the girls to see what they were doing. "Hey girls," Angus said cheerfully. "What, Angus?" Angus shouted with a very mean tone. "I was wondering if I could play with you all." Angus asked so innocent. Carrie was about to say yes until Angel cut her off and said, "No!" Little Angus ran into the house crying. Carrie felt sorry for him and wanted to run after him. It was too late. He was out of sight. "Mom!" Angus yelled. "What is it, son?" Angus' mother said, as she seen her son running and wanted to know what the fuss was about. What the fuss was all about. "No one wants to play with me," Angus said. She smiled and told Angus to come to her. "Why is that, Angus?" she asked. "They say I'm too young," Angus shouted. "Well, sweetie, you are too young to be playing with your brothers. What about your sisters?" "They told me no also," he cried. "Stop crying, Angus. It's going to be all right." Angus did not understand. She explained to him that being younger than his brothers, he could easily get hurt. And with his sisters, well, we all know girls sometimes like playing with girls. Angus quickly responded, "Mom, I won't get hurt. I'm a big boy." His mother smiled at him and told him, "You are, but we don't want to see you get hurt. That's all, sweetie." Angus was not hearing it. He thought he could handle anything. "Look, Angus, I'm going shopping in a little while. You can come if you like." She always knew Angus loved going shopping with her. She thought it might cheer him up if he went into town. "Don't you want to go?" she asked Angus. "Yes, ma'am," Angus answered eagerly. He went into his room, which he shared with his two brothers, and put on his favorite clothes and was ready to go. Not forgetting to grab his backpack, which he took with him wherever he went. Inside it contained water and food. Angus always stayed prepared for his adventures. "Angus, dear, come on," his mother called for him. "I'm coming, Mother," Angus said, running to the front door. Before leaving, she told the others to stay in the backyard and play. Angus and his mother began their trip into town. On their way there, Angus did what he would always do, wander off into the woods. Okay, I'm going to pause right there in between the story, and just to see how far y'all have, learned throughout the story so far. So, what was one of the biggest things that made Angus cry? Do any one of y'all know the thing that made Angus upset? Okay. Can I get someone else? Going shopping? What did that do for him? That made him what?
Happy.
Happy. Okay. Now I'm going to continue. Who? Cheese. Now he is a mouse, and mouse loves cheese. Okay, little Angus, don't go too far. Okay, little Angus, don't go too far, Angus' mother yelled. Okay, Mommy. Angus went down the path he would always take. He saw new things humans threw out into the woods, discovering items like bottle caps and pennies. He was happy he found these things. All of a sudden, something stuck in a tree caught Angus' eye. Angus placed all his things he found into his backpack and ran towards the object. When Angus got closer to the tree, he then realized it was a small, beautiful feather of a black bird. He began to climb the tree, And as he got closer, he noticed a nest with 3 little eggs inside. The eggs were very colorful and bright. They amazed Angus, but his attention was on that feather. Once he had the feather, he placed it into his backpack, then turned his attention towards the colorful eggs. "Wow, these are pretty," Angus said with excitement. By this time, Angus' mother began to worry about him, so she called for him to return. "Angus, dear, come on." However, Angus was too far to hear her. She began to panic when she did not get a response. Meanwhile, Angus made his way into the nest, and as soon as he touched one of them, the wind began to blow. Getting stronger and stronger, Angus did not know what was going on. He tried to leave the nest, but could not because the wind was so strong. When he looked up, he saw a big black bird standing over him. Angus yelled for his mother, but got no response. "What are you doing in my nest?" the bird asked. "I'm sorry, I only wanted to see the round colorful eggs," Angus said. But the bird wasn't hearing any excuses. "You were trying to steal my eggs." "No, I was only looking," Angus screamed. He tried running, but fell out of the tree. The bird went after him. Just as soon as Angus hit the ground, he began running through the woods, calling for his mother. "Mommy, Mommy!" She came running as fast as she could to save her Angus. But before she could do so, she needed to pass the big black bird first. Angus was still too far. "Mom, help me," Angus shouted. "I'm coming," she replied, running after Angus and that mean old bird. The black bird kept trying to grab Angus, but Angus was too fast and too small for her to catch. Angus ran to the edge of a cliff and had nowhere else to go. Okay, I'm going to stop in between that. What do y'all think happened next with Angus? What's going on with Angus right now?
His mother called.
See who? Come up.
That's your brother.
Just looking at the egg.
And then what happened?
The bird came and then he said he was trying to steal my egg.
And then what happened next?
And then he ran.
So that's where we are now. Angus is in the position of running from this angry bird that caught Angus inside of her nest. Okay, she still got her hand up, so. What did you want to say?
And then he went to the bushes.
Okay, Angus went to the bushes, and when Angus went to the bushes, he started running for his life. We're going to read a little bit more, and then I'm going to have more questions for y'all to answer. So I'm going to try to get at least everyone to answer at one time at the end of the story so that everyone will be able to answer all my questions. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
How many of, I want to know right now, how many of y'all are enjoying the Adventures of Angus the Mouse? Your hands up?
Very good.
Okay, there you go. Now we're going to continue. The bird kept trying to grab Angus, but Angus was too fast and too small for her to catch. After Angus ran to the cliff, the bird had him cornered. "You have nowhere else to go, little rat. Please don't hurt me. I'm so sorry," Angus pleaded. "It's too late for that. So what are you going to do to me?" Angus asked the bird. "Well, now I have to eat you. My babies will hatch soon out of their shells and need food whenever they do." Angus was terrified. He turned to see his surroundings, still nowhere to go but over the edge. Then he noticed something standing behind the bird. What do y'all think was standing behind the bird as Angus was cornered at the edge? His mom? Okay, we finna find out. "I wonder who that could be," Angus said to himself in a low tone. "What did you say?" the bird asked. Angus saw that it was his mother and screamed for her. "Mommy!" Angus' mother quickly pulled a feather from the bird's tail. "Ouch!" the bird shouted. Angus was confused. He did not know what to do. "Run, honey, run!" Angus' mother shouted. As she took on the big black bird's oh so strong, Angus ran as fast as he could, but stopped to look behind for his mother. The bird knocked Angus' mother into a ditch, then turned and flew towards Angus. He ran as fast as his legs would go, running closer and closer to the edge. He tried his best to keep from falling. However, the wind from the bird's wings were too strong, pushing Angus closer and closer towards the edge. Angus' mother awoke and ran after him once more. By the time she got close enough, it was too late. Angus fell off into the midst of the river. So what happened to Angus now, y'all?
You know,
He fell into the river.
next time I'll let you know.
I was just going to ask that question. So what do you think happened to Angus when he fell into the river? Do you think we're not going to think about death. We're not going to think about dying or any of that. We're going to think about him surviving. How do you think that he survived falling into the midst of the river? Is there any more hands? Come on up. I can get more than one person to come up.
You want to go? You got the answer? For what?
Okay, so what do you think happened to Angus?
He swam out of the water.
Okay, he swam out of the water. What do you think happened to Angus?
He is running fast as legs. He is running and the fastest legs carry him.
What do you think happened to Angus?
He got hurt.
You think he made it out alive? Okay, we should find out and see.
Somebody said no.
Oh no, Angus! His mother shouted. While standing at the edge grieving, the black bird stood over her. She quickly began running. As Angus fell, all she could hear was him calling for her. Now in the river, Angus did not know how to swim, but he tried. I know that's kind of strange, right? Because you would think that every mouse knows how to swim. But Angus did not know how to swim. Angus didn't know how to make it out. There was no hope for Angus. He thought for sure he was not going to make it out alive. There was no one in sight to help poor Angus. After trying and trying, he finally gave up. He was sinking to the bottom. Then, out of nowhere, a rat jumps in and pulls Angus out. Hey, little guy, say something. Angus did not respond. The rat had no choice but to perform CPR. He did not want to, but he knew that was the only way to bring Angus back to life. Before he could do so, Angus awoke. Get off of me, what are you doing? Angus asked the rat. Well, I was trying to save you, kid, the rat said. Where am I? My boy, you are in my neck of the woods. Angus jumped up fast, ready to run. Oh no, don't tell me you're going to eat me too. No, I don't eat mice, the rat said, laughing. Angus felt relieved. That's good. I thought you were going to eat me. As the two sighed, a shadow came over them. What was that? Angus asked the rat. I'm not sure, the rat said, looking up at the sky. Hey, I want to thank you for saving me. No problem, kid. How did you get out here in the first place? For a second, Angus forgot what happened. Oh no, Mom, Angus shouted, scaring the rat. What? The rat asked. My mother. Don't tell me she was in the river too, kid. I'm sorry, but I didn't see anyone but you. No, she wasn't. But I was chased by this big black bird, and my mother was running after me. Now she might be... Okay. What do Angus think? Where is Angus in this situation? Who have Angus met?
The rat.
Y'all can answer the questions out loud too also, but there's so many hands too. The rat? Okay, the rat.
You think his mother in the nest.
He who?
You think his mother in the nest.
Okay. So now that Angus is saved, he's been rescued by a rat or whatnot. And now he has the conclusion that his mother might be what? She might be what? But we finna find out and see just what happened. No, Angus paused and then began crying. Might be what, kid? Angus did not say anything, he just cried. Hey, don't cry, little guy. That same black shadow came over them again, but no one paid it any attention. The rat kept trying to console Angus. It's going to be okay, the rat said. My mother is gone, and I'm all alone, out here with no one. Then a flashback came to Angus. Remember when his mother told him it was going to be okay and not to cry when his brothers and sisters would not play with him? That made Angus strong. Remember the things she would tell him to make him feel all better again. That's not true, little guy. You got me, the rat said. I don't even know you. Who are you? Well, my name is... Before he could get his name out, screamed both Angus and the rat. What y'all think is going on now? Why are they screaming?
The bird came back.
Okay, who?
The bird came back.
Yeah, there we go. We're on the same page now. The bird came back.
Mr. Harmon.
Run, run, the rat shouted. It was that big black bird again. Come on, follow me. The rat ran near his house, and Angus followed. It was not too far from the river. As Angus ran, he looked behind him to see where the bird was. While doing so, he noticed something hanging from the bird's feet. Oh no, it can't be, Angus repeated to himself, going as the bird got closer to him. Come in here, kid, the rat yelled, but Angus was paying no attention. Hi, Mouse. Oh, hey, Mouse. Do you hear me? The rat shouted. The rat did not want to, but ran out after Angus. What are you trying to do? I didn't hear you, said Angus. The blackbird almost got Angus, but the rat grabbed him just in time. Just as the blackbird tried turning quickly, she flew into a tree, hollering, I'm going to get you, Mouse, and flew away, leaving something behind. What do y'all think that she left behind? The who? The mouse? The who? One of her feathers? Okay, we're going to find out.
Mr. Montice.
That was a great answer. And the rat tried comforting Angus. Angus noticed the familiar object and ran out afterwards. Hey kid, come back, the rat shouted. Angus went after the object and suddenly realized the familiar object once kept him warm. He started crying. The rat finally came out to see what was wrong with Angus. He was so afraid, but wanted to know why Angus was holding the object crying. Hey little guy, what's wrong? My name is not little guy, it's Angus, Angus said, sobbing. Sorry, what's wrong, Angus, the rat asked. Angus was holding his mother's favorite vest. It's my mother's vest, said Angus, holding it tight. I'm sorry, Angus, little guy, the rat comforted Angus. And the two went into his house, into his home. Angus was so tired that in no time he was fast asleep. Go to sleep, little guy, you had a rough day, the rat said, watching Angus as he slept. Now I'm going to stop right there in between the story. It's a lot more of the adventure, but that was just some of what I could give y'all in this time frame. So do any of y'all have any questions about Angus the Mouse?
Yes. He went to sleep.
Okay.
Purple.
This is fascinating because I just thought that he got up and ran over here. But he actually has a twin brother. Alright, so what was the question?
He has a cup in the bird nest. And then he started running.
Touch her.
And then he fell off the cliff.
Touch her.
Then the bird came. And
Touch her thing.
then he said tried to grab
You
him.
can go up and tell.
And then
Go tell
the
your
mama
question.
came.
Go tell me your question. You want to go?
She pulled on
Tell him
his
your question.
feathers.
That was exciting. He learned a lot because he told me a lot about the story. So I'm going to ask you, what did you learn about the story? What have you learned so far?
Go tell your story.
When his mama came, when they were screaming, then the bird came. Yeah. Yes.
So So you have a question, or what did you like most about Angus?
He, the bird fell in the tree and he ran and he said, the bird skinned him and then he didn't hear the big mouse and then he fell asleep.
Yep, that's what happened. So what did you like most about Angus?
I like most about Angus because the mouse saved him. That's why I like it.
The rat saved Angus? Y'all didn't even get a chance to know what the rat name was.
Nope.
I mean, no, don't you?
Yep.
What was your favorite thing that happened in the story with Mrs. Angus?
Matter of fact.
When he saw the eggs and he fell down and the bird tried to eat him.
You enjoyed that part? You want to know more about the adventures of Angus the Mouse, don't you? The story is very exciting, wasn't it? You'll find out.
How did you get out with the idea?
Wow, that's a great
Great
question.
question.
The Adventures of Angus the Mouse, actually, it took me only a day to write this book. And it became, out of all the 6 titles that I wrote, my best-selling book and whatnot. And it's, the creative thing about it is using your imagination. While you are young now, what you need to do is just words. And you know what? Reading is very important because that's what a lot of y'all young kids like to look at now, just the picture. But it's all about the concept of the story. And to use your imagination. Could you visualize those things happening in the story? Could you see Angus running through the woods, running away from this bird?
Yes. But some gold feathers too. Black and gold feathers.
Predators.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, wow. He is.
Okay,
Oh, my God.
Thank you for that
Is he
question.
freaking? Oh, my God. Don't you want him next year?
So what was your question? What was your favorite scene in the story? And what did you like most about the Adventures of Angus the Mouse?
That he got saved by that rat.
Okay.
Second graders are coming in.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed the story of the Adventures of Angus the Mouse. Hopefully I'll come back and read the rest of the story to you all or whatnot, so y'all will know exactly what happened with Angus. Thank you a lot. Thank you all for your cooperation, and I hope that y'all have a blessed and a great school year. Thank you, and hopefully see y'all back soon. Bye.